Hey friends, it's Hope, and today I am here to do my first ever unhaul video. And what's crazy to think is that when I joined YouTube and started getting into like the booktube community, I would see people do these unhaul videos and I would think to myself, there's no way I'm ever going to get to a point where I would actually need to get rid of books, but I am now at the point, because I've been doing this booktube thing and reading like crazy for over a year now, and I have collected a lot of books, and I'm not very sentimental with my books. So if I know that I'm not probably going to reread a book or maybe recommend it to somebody and lend it out for people to borrow, I will most likely get rid of it. So this is why I am doing an unhaul. I have 15 books here and probably a couple more on my bookshelf, but 15 books here to show you guys today that I'm just getting rid of, mostly because I just know that either one, I won't reread it, two, I've had it on my bookshelf for a while and I have no interest in reading it, or three, I think it belongs to someone who may want to read it, or I'm just going to probably give it to my sister who also reads some during the summer. So we'll just go ahead and get started. My first two books are by the same author, and it is Birds of a Feather and Maisie Dobbs. And Maisie Dobbs is actually the first book in this series, and this is a series by Jacqueline Winspear. I actually bought these books for my grandmother and she was so precious. She read them. I left them for her back in Missouri. She read them and thought that I was just like giving them to her to borrow, and she didn't realize that I was actually giving them to her to actually give to her. But my parents came to visit me over Easter and they brought them back to me, and so I'm gonna take them back home to Missouri when I go home in a couple weeks. And if she doesn't want to keep these, then I'm probably just going to donate them or try to sell them to the secondhand bookstore and try to get some credit for them. But I absolutely adore this cover. Like, I was so tempted just to keep this book just for the cover, and then I realized I don't need to do that. The next book that I have to show you, I actually won on Goodreads, and I read it and rated it, and it's one that I won't ever read again, like I already know. And it is Zack and Mia, and it is by AJ Betts. Not that this book was horrible, I just didn't think that it's one that I will ever pick back up, and it wasn't my favorite, so I figured I would go ahead and just donate this to like a thrift shop and see if anybody else would enjoy reading this book. These next couple books may surprise you guys, and you may think that I'm absolutely crazy, but yeah, let's just get started with them. My first one is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I read this book a couple months ago, and this was actually my least favorite book out of all three, and I know that it's turning into a movie, and so I'm thinking I can actually sell it back to the used bookstore back at home and get some store credit and hopefully get some books that I've been wanting with that store credit. The next book that I have to show you is a pretty new release and one that I also just read, and that is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Nevin. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars, and I definitely would recommend you guys reading it if you like the YA contemporary type novels. It is a little bit on the sad side, and it didn't like completely touch me and pull my heartstrings like The Fault in Our Stars did. Not that it is like anything like The Fault in Our Stars, but people have been comparing it to that in Eleanor and Park, and I just like those books way better than this one. So yeah, I'm probably going to donate this or try to sell it back to my used bookstore back at home and see if I can get some store credit for this one as well. The next one I have to show you, I actually got from the thrift store for $1, and I'm hoping to sell it back to the used bookstore and get some store credit for this one because it is in perfect condition and it is a hardback, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This took me forever to get through this novel. I won't reread this. I'm hoping to continue on with this series, but I just know I will never be picking up this book ever again. The next book I have to show you, I have a very love-hate relationship with this trilogy. I read the second book on an arc that I won off of NetGalley, and I won't be purchasing it, so why keep the first book, especially when I still have a love-hate relationship with the first book, and that is The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutowski. Yeah, I know a lot of people like these books. It's just really not for me. I don't know, I just don't like the main character, and I don't see me ever liking her. So hopefully I can find this baby a new home. The next book I got, I actually also won off of a Goodreads giveaway, and it is Makeup by Michelle Phan. Now this was actually a really fun read, and I'm thinking that I'm actually going to give this to my sister because this is more of like for, I feel like, younger girls, or maybe girls who are just wanting to learn more about like fashion and makeup. It was a really great read. If you guys are interested in that type of stuff, I definitely suggest this book, but I've already read through it and I feel like I just should pass it on. The next 3 books I have to show you guys, I actually got them last year at the library book sale back at home, and I've read 2 of them and I've tried to read the 3rd and I just could not finish it, so that's why I'm just going to get rid of these. And the first one I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to give it to a friend because I know that he wants it, and that's my copy of Perks of Being a Wallflower. I actually enjoyed the movie a lot more, and so I'm going to give my copy to somebody who actually really wants it. I think he would just appreciate it a lot more than I will. The next book that I'm going to get rid of is The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks by E. Lockhart. Another book that I just know I won't ever reread. And that 3rd book that I was telling you about was Girl Stolen. I tried to read this book. I got like a couple chapters in, I just totally lost interest, and I'm not going to be picking it up, so I'll probably be donating this to a thrift store. The next 2 books I have to show you, thank goodness I only paid 70 cents for, because I can never ever read these. Just after reading such wonderful novels, I just couldn't get into these books, and those were the LA Candy and Sugar and Spice books by Lauren Conrad. Totally not for me. I know other people love them, but yeah, just not for me. The next book I also won off of a Goodreads giveaway, and that is I'll Drink to That by Betty Halbreach. I don't know how you say her last name. Anyways, definitely think that someone out there would probably enjoy this book a lot more than me. I read it and won't be reading it again, so yeah. And the last book I have to show you, I actually won it at like some Christmas party. I don't know, maybe it was a white elephant or something, who knows. But it is The Bone Season by Jefferson Bass. Just not my kind of book that I like to read, and I just think somebody else would enjoy it more than I would. Well friends, that pretty much does it for this video. I know it's sometimes kind of sad to get rid of books, but this will allow me to add more books to the bookshelves, and like I said, I'm not too sentimental about my books, so honestly getting rid of these books and passing them on to people who would maybe read them a lot more and enjoy them a lot more than I would actually makes me more happy than sad. So yeah, I hope they find really great homes and people enjoy reading them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye.